everyone, welcome to American Firearms Network. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. For those new viewers, we hope you like and subscribe and share. And today's topic is adding stress to your firearms training. I cannot say this enough of how important this is to get comfortable. God forbid you're ever in a situation. It's going to be the highest level of stress that you've ever experienced in your entire life. The fact that you have to draw your firearm to protect you or your loved one of potentially dying, I can't think of anything worse in the world. So you need to train on that. If you want to get more and more comfortable, okay, and reduce that percentage where you can actually not panic and lock up and freeze up, you got to train with stressors. Mm-hmm. Instructor Paul, I know you really talk on this a lot in your training classes.
Yeah. There's certain things that you can do. You're never going to be able to really mimic what it's like in a real situation, okay? But there are certain things that you can do to get your heart rate up. One of the things that we have in our training is a class called the gun and run. And basically what that is, my wife used to say, gun and run, what does that mean? And what basically it is that you're going to be doing exercises and being able to shoot under pressure. And what we done on one of the gun and runs is what we had as a weighted vest, that we put the weighted vest on, and we done push-ups and we done sit-ups, and then the instructor would say fret, and then you would draw your firearm and you would shoot when your heart is racing. You're out in the 95-degree heat, you're sweating all over, your heart's pumping, you're tired, and you have to focus on that target. Being able to do that, it's important, because when you're under stress in a gun situation, life and death, your heart's going to be pumping for your chest. So you have to be able to mimic those things.
Absolutely. Another thing, as we talk about and too often, is practicing and training with a shot timer.
Yes.
Well, I do some of these advanced classes, they're all with a shot timer. Most of them, not all, but most of the time in that class, so some portion of that class is done with a shot timer. For example, shooting 5 rounds in 5 seconds from the draw, right? Pulling your gun out, getting, from 5 yards away, or 7 yards away, or even 10 yards away, getting off 5 shots in 5 seconds. That's a stressor, right?
Big time.
The fact that you can draw your firearm and make the attempt to shoot really accurately in a certain amount of time is a stressor, right? Mm-hmm. Drawing with your dominant hand from the holster, doing, taking 3 shots, changing to your support hand, taking another 3 shots all in 6 seconds. That's a major stressor, right?
Yeah.
This is all important, and shooting accurately, right? Shooting accurately is very, very important, right? When you're in a self-defense situation, because as you know, it's not like the movies. You can shoot someone and they're going to still come at you.
Yeah. So
unless you're hitting in the right spots on the body, you can shoot a few rounds, and that's not going to stop the person, right? Mm-hmm. So,
I trained with a guy once, and he had these targets, and one of the things that he does, his targets, and I'm going to do it on our range days. He has targets that have the target pointing the gun towards you. He never has targets that haven't got guns pointed at you. He don't believe in that. So he has these targets. Then he also has these targets where they're hostage targets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good to train with. I agree.
You're under a timer, and you have to draw your weapon, deploy it, and shoot the person that's holding the hostage under time. And you better not miss, and you better not hit the hostage.
Right, and they have circled targets there exactly where you need to hit.
Yes.
So I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But, adding stress as part of your training, I can't even talk enough on it. Okay, I can't even talk enough on it. It is so important to get out there and train with an instructor that knows how to do that and add stressors to your training. It really, really, really will help tremendously.
Yeah, and there are classes where they do force training. If you want to do that kind of training, it's great. Find an instructor like Todd says to do that. But you can start off in a small way on your own. Just buy yourself a timer. They're about $100, and just practice drawing from concealment in a certain amount of time. These are things that you can do, and you can also do them in a dry fire situation where you can get used to drawing under stress and under pressure.
And one thing that Paul mentioned before, force on force training, that's really doing live scenarios with a firearm. Sometimes they use dummy firearms,
Yeah.
but where you're getting attacked, they'll have two people literally attack you, and you're getting trained on how to react, how to respond. You're in an actual house, and they're working on real scenarios. Someone breaks in, and you're actually practicing the break-in and all that. Really, really helpful stuff. I did it once. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable. And I know they have them around the country, these force training scenarios.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Guys, it's important that you try your best to make sure that your training gets to the next level. Don't stay mediocre. Always try to put stress on yourself. Always try to be better when it comes to your training. Because the better you are, the better it is for you to be able to protect yourself and your family. So with that said, thank you for watching our show. Thank you for being a part of our show. Enjoy the rest of your day and go out there, enjoy the art of shooting and be safe.